Well, I'll get started with the video for the 4th of December. And the title is Dreams and Visions of a Better World. Frankly, I don't think elections have as much impact as many think, although Trump does seem to offer false hope for many that there might be some positive change. Except for the cabal and their minions, most want that, I think. Who, if we stop and think, doesn't want a world that works for the good of humanity and stop the cruel reign of those who promote wars on many levels? An interesting statistic I saw indicated that of the 3,084 counties in the US, Hillary only won 57. Of course, those are the big cities where the voting is less reliable due to rigging. Even in New York, Trump won 64 to Hillary's 16. Again, big cities went to the status quo. Folks, the status quo, though familiar, has been a downward spiral. Do people really want that? As for me, I have had dreams and visions of a better world since childhood. With Trump's alliance with the same criminals who brought us the Bush debacles, I think we need more than political promises that have a sad record of not being kept. I apologize in a sense that the election and the stuff going on in the United States seems to be the focus of my attention. But I have many friends that talk about these things, and I went to a group last night where we normally, on the first Friday of each month, we have an open discussion. Last night, the open discussion was abandoned, and we watched videos of mystery movies. 3 of them, 3 small mystery movies in 2.5, about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. Anyway, there was no discussion, or at least not as of the time. I was the first one to leave, and I don't know what happened after I left, whether they were talking about politics before that. We were talking about some about politics before we started the movies, but the group was not about discussion. In any case, many of the people in that group were and are Trump supporters. And I keep getting information on the corruption and some of the alliances that Trump has that point a finger to his reliance upon the establishment of the Republican Party. Although he's appointing some Democrats in positions of positions of his cabinet, nevertheless, it's still, for me, a smokescreen, because we're still dealing with a corporate government. We're still dealing with legal fiction. Corporations, remember, are legal fictions. That's even you and me in our all caps name that was established at our birth, because the birth, we were considered lost at sea, lost in the water of birth. And we never claimed our birthright, so we don't have a birthright. We're chattel, we're corporations, legal fictions. And that's how the whole system has been set up, and it's all fraud. Now, who do you think would set up a system of fraud? People that want humanity to thrive, people that want humanity to become the best we can be, and to recognize not only our potential, but to actually achieve our potential. Those that put forth the effort to do so. That's not the world we live in. That's the world we may dream of. If somebody presents it to us, we say, yeah, that's what I want. I want freedom. I want justice. I want truth. I want to be able to depend that when our leaders, so-called, tell us something that we can actually depend on it. We can take it to the bank, so to speak, that what they're telling us is the truth. But experience shows us that that's not the way the world works. Not at all. Not at all. It's fraud on top of fraud on top of fraud, lies and more lies. That's the world that we live in. And folks, for me, I want the better world. I've dreamed of it since I was a child. I called it the kingdom of heaven on earth, or the kingdom of God. But God seems derelict in his godly responsibilities to me. That's why I've said, if I ever see God and he doesn't do something, I'd punch him in the face. I don't want to deal with criminality at such high levels. It's preposterous to have to live lifetime after lifetime, and that's what humans have done. We've gone through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime in bondage to lies, in bondage to things that are not real, and yet it is the experiential reality. That's the conundrum. That's the dilemma that we face. It's a paradox, folks, that what they tell us is usually the exact opposite. That is the truth. And that's Trump as well as Hillary. You know, I do believe Hillary is far worse because she was, quote, an insider. But is not Trump an insider? Does someone rise to the status of having made that much money in a system where the whole financial system is corrupted? Does it stand to reason that somebody that's not a politician but a businessman is going to escape the corruption that's part of the system in which he made his wealth? We've got to think about these things. We've got to take it and we've got to look at it with an analytical mind and with an open mind. And we've got to say, wait a minute. Look at the craziness of the wars. I mean, they point fingers at Iraq and Iran and Syria and the various Middle Eastern countries. And we want to start the wars against Islam. Well, Islam has been messed with, the same as every other religion, and we're not being told the truth. The truth is, only love will set us free, and only truth is love. Love that does not lie. Truth is truth. That means it can be substantiated. It can be validated. It can be proven. But how do you prove it when our minds can't conceive of such a thing as truth? Because the lies have become so dominant in our thinking that that's all we know. That's all we know. I really, from the bottom of my heart, want for you and for every other human being on this planet the very best that there can be. I want a world that works, where people can have a dream and fulfill their dream. They have a vision of how they can help and what they can do to be able to make a contribution to the betterment of mankind. But that's not going to happen when we have the same criminal element running the show, generation after generation after generation. Something has to give. Something has to change. And as I've said before, and I'll keep saying it, without some kind of divine or supernatural intervention, we're going to destroy ourselves yet again and go back into another dark age, just as we've done historically. We're going to lose everything that we've gained, and we're going to have to start over. I don't want that. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be its proponent. I want something better. Thank you for listening. Namaste.